Look out, here she comes, the woman that I love. It's too bad she'll never know.
I'm going back up to make my last stand. I'm gonna dust it off with my own hands. Black blizzard coming.
So this video is going to be a little different than other ones that I've done, and I'm going to share some personal things with you. And I'm going to tell you how it relates to the last 18 months in business that I have been in. So it took me over 40 years to I had a really bad childhood, and it was exceptionally bad, and I made a lot of bad decisions and poor choices, and it was bad, and I never took responsibility for the things that I did. I always made excuses. It was always somebody else's fault. And about 17 years ago, I'm 57. About 17 years ago, I started having a different outlook on things, and I started taking responsibility for some of my poor decisions, and I started trying to make amends. And you can't make amends without taking responsibility for the poor choices that you've made and the damage that you have created. One thing that I have seen in the last 18 months are guys who were given a chance to be in complete control of their own destiny, their own life, their own income, and they made some very, very bad choices. They did not care for the equipment that was put in their possession. They didn't treat it like they respected it. They didn't show any respect for anyone trying to help them. And about a week ago, they ended up all losing their jobs because they just didn't give a shit. And after that, I got a bunch of nasty messages, and they took no responsibility in their part of losing their jobs. It was somebody else's fault. And the reality of the situation is in the trucking world, as a truck driver, there is no one there to supervise you, no one there to make sure you're doing your job correctly, and no one there to make sure that you're supposed to inspect your truck, and there's no one there to do it. These are all things you have to do as a truck driver. And in the last 18 months, there have been 3 insurance claims due to driver error. In the last 3 months, there were 4 failed inspections and 2 out of services, all due to driver error. Drivers were in complete control of their equipment. Last year, we had a driver that used a piece of equipment in a vigilante type encounter where he used equipment that did not belong to him, that he had no financial responsibility for, to go on a vigilante encounter in which the truck was damaged. The list goes on. It's not been a good situation. And when you have people like that working for you who refuse to take responsibility for anything that they do, and they want to blame somebody else, the business is not going to succeed. And they put a man out of business with their actions. We've gone over the numbers. We've looked at the loads, and what it came down to is the owner-operator who was leased to me went out of business because of driver error, because of drivers not doing their job. And it's funny because after I ended my relationship with him, my business relationship with him, they all sent me nasty messages telling me how unprofessional I was and how I caused them problems. When in reality, they were in full control of everything, full control of the amount of loads they hauled, in full control of doing their inspections, in full control of not getting speeding tickets or moving violations. And yet someone else was to blame. One day you have to grow up like I did. I don't know when. It took me over 40 years. And realize that you have to accept responsibility for your own actions, for what you've done, for damage you've created, and the consequences that you have to pay by not doing the job that you know you're supposed to be doing, or not treating people right, or not respecting things that are entrusted to you. And the owner of those trucks dealt with so much frustration, and he was just so scared to say anything to the drivers because he was afraid they'd quit. And he just let them go on and on and on until they put him out of business. It's very sad. It's extremely sad that they had that much power over their own lives, over their own destiny. But they also had power over the owner of that truck with their threats to quit and complaints, and if they didn't get their way, and it came to a head, and I'll continue on with my business. I'll be okay. They'll be okay because they'll just go to another company and find another job. But the owner of those trucks got fucked over by every driver who ever worked for him. And that's really, really sad.